Okay, now we're going to have to use some formulas to figure out these questions. This has to do with area and circumference of a circle. When we have the area of a circle, we want to know what the filled in part is, if you fill this in the area, and the circumference is just how far around it is, if I put a string around it. Area is the same as the other shapes, circumference is just like perimeter. So the area, so look, area of a circle is 144 pi square feet. What is the radius? So normally we look at this, A area equals pi r squared. That will be on your formula sheet that you get. A equals pi r squared. So all we have to do is fill in our information. So right here, and usually you have your radius squared times pi, so that equals your area. So I have 144 pi equals pi r squared. Okay, that looks crazy, but this is just pi times r squared, just like this. So all I'm going to do is divide by pi, and guess what? It goes away. So now I have 144 equals r squared. Well, I know we haven't figured out square roots yet. However, you know what number times itself equals 44? 12. 12 squared equals 144, which means your radius is 12. Okay? You just have to think about that one for a second. If the diameter of a circle okay, so this one here, it says if the diameter of the circle, so I always draw them out. It says circle, I draw a circle. So if the diameter of a circle is 2.5 inches, what is the circumference of the circle? So here it is, the diameter. Diameter goes all the way across. So this is 2.5 inches all the way across. And it says the circumference. Well, I know from my formula sheet that the circumference equals 2 pi r, okay? 2 pi r. So I know that 2r is my diameter. So because half of this is a radius, the other half is a radius. If I take my two radiuses and add them together, 2r, I get 2.5. So in this case, I have 2.5 pi. This could be an answer, just so you know. They might not make you multiply pi out. So 2.5 pi could be an answer on milestones, or you might have to multiply 2.5 times 3.14, which should also be on your formula sheet, but pi is 3.14, and your answer will be 7.85. And 7.85 inches. Pay attention, because they could have the right answer, and one says inches and one says feet, and you get the wrong answer because you have the units incorrect. Tony needs to put trim at the hem of his round tablecloth. So again, we have a round tablecloth. And he's going to put trim all the way around. So before I even read this, it makes me think that I'm going to be doing perimeter. Circumference. That has a radius of 10 feet. So radius, again, I put a dot in the middle. I come out here and it's 10 feet. About how many yards of trim must he purchase? Now, earlier in this packet, I talked about looking at units. This says feet and this says yards. So when I do find my circumference, it's going to tell me that in feet because that's here. I'm going to have to change it to yards. So again, my circumference is 2 pi r. So I'm going to have to multiply this out. 2 times pi times r. So clear, 2 times 3.14 equals, times my r is 10, that equals 62.8. So I have 62.8 feet. That may be an answer that they give you on the test, A, B, C, D, right here. And you'll think you're so smart because you got that answer and it was right there. It was answer B and you're so happy. However, it says yards because they're being very tricky. So how many yards? Well, we have to remember from second grade or maybe third grade that a yard has 3 feet. All right, so a yard has 3 feet. So I have to take that answer and divide it by 3. So divide by 3 feet is 20.93333 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and say 20.9 yards, or I might even say 21 yards because it says about how many. So 21 yards is about how many yards of ribbon trim will need to go around that tablecloth. Okay. Find the diameter of the circle with an area of 100 square feet. So same thing that we had to do over here. My area equals pi r squared. So my area is 100 pi, and that equals pi r squared. So remember, it's just pi times r squared. So I'm going to divide by pi, divide by pi. That goes away, that goes away. So now I just have 100 equals r squared. Well, what times itself equals 100? We know 10 times 10 equals 100. So our radius is 10. Now, 10 might be one of your answers, and you'll feel so good about yourself. However, it asks you for the diameter. So the radius is halfway, so that means the whole way would be 20. So the diameter equals 20. Pay attention to the words in the questions. You might want to highlight words like diameter. You might want to highlight words like area, radius, those sorts of things, so that you notice what you are looking